I haven't weighed in on the Jodie discussion. I've avoided it.
The master speaks.
I'm sick to death. And I haven't watched Series 12. I was so disappointed with Series 11. And I get so annoyed with how fans react. So they sort of go, you're not a true fan of this, that, and the other.
Bollocks.
And I sit there and I go, well, I've sat through it in all its forms for as long as I've lived.
Yeah.
I've managed to find something that I quite enjoy about Doctor Who. But when Jodie Whittaker was announced, I sort of was like, I don't know if a female Doctor's going to work. And I'll actually explain myself in this respect. That the Doctor has very female characteristics. He's empathetic. He has a lot of things that don't make him his archetypal male hero. Unique selling point.
Yeah.
Really, he makes him different from all other male heroes.
Yes, exactly.
Changing that gender just turns him into a woman who also has female tendencies. There's nothing unique about that because that's just a woman being a woman. And that sounds really like, They make the distinction that, oh yeah, but the Master worked. So, yeah, the Master works because the Master's a bloke doing blokey things, acts like a bloke, he's arrogant like a bloke. Just basically, he's just a horrible man, basically.
Yeah.
If you boil it down. And then if you take that and you flip it and you put a woman, it's an interesting take because you go, that's a woman not acting like a woman. Oh, and it makes the character of Mickey actually work. That's why the Master works as a female, but the Doctor really doesn't work as a female character.
Well, the Master would also do that because he likes to fuck around with the Doctor, and that's the kind of thing he would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the next announcement comes along. So I'm kind of in my head going, okay, well, as long as, they stick to the same dynamic we've got, just have one male character, have the female Doctor and a male character, and you just flip that dynamic on its head, dynamic that works most throughout Doctor Who's history.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we're going to have a full ensemble cast of diverse characters, and we're going to go back to the beginning. And you sit there and go, okay, but there isn't really enough screen time for 3 characters for 45 minutes in a story. It worked when you've got a serial which goes over 6 parts, and you can separate the cast, you can separate them up and do all sorts of weird and wacky things with them, and then bring them all back together to get back in the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have the runtime. But fine, that's a decision that was. Then my next point was like, well, as long as she doesn't keep her northern accent, we might be all right. And then
lots of planets have a northern.
She's not changing her oldham accent. Oh no! I mean, her accent's like chalk, like you're scraping nails on a chalkboard to me. I just find her. It's just great so badly. So there's about 3 or 4 things that I thought, if they did a certain thing, they've done the complete opposite of what I thought they should have done. Fine, okay. Well, maybe if we get a first season, I'll just watch some classic villains. It's just going to be some classic villains turn up. The next announcement, there's no classic villains in season 11. And I'm kind of sitting there going, oh man, you are giving me nothing here. There's nothing I want to watch about Doctor Who that they are presenting to me. And then you get all these fucking idiots online turn around and go, well, you're not a true fan. I was like, well, hang on a minute. I've given this the benefit. I'm a fan of the fact that I'm giving this the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't watch... If this wasn't Doctor Who, I wouldn't be watching this because this sounds rubbish. And lo and behold, we get Series 11 and it was awful. I find anyone who says a fair play to anyone who likes it. Fair play, because I'm so glad you're easily amused.
Yeah.
But I'm not that easily amused. I want to be entertained. I don't want to be fucking lectured.
No.
And the amount of lecturing that goes on in Series 11, you sit there and just go, oh my God. I mean, it worked in the 70s with John Pertwee and their, the environmental message. That was something that went on and on and on through John Pertwee's season.
I mean,
Doctor Who didn't change the world. We still
No.
managed to pollute the earth. So I don't understand where this is all coming from. You've already had my coins. Like you've had my. I can't do it anymore, and I'm stepping off because I can see where this is going. And you guys had the privilege of watching some of it and seeing it all go to absolute.
The irony of that is that I was the opposite with Series 11. I was just like, I gave it 3 episodes. Me and Jack both said this when she was cast, that we got like, right, we'll give it 3 episodes. That's a fair judgment for a Doctor, I think, a new Doctor, male or female, right?
Whole season.
And it was just like, after Rosa, it was just like, this isn't Doctor Who anymore. It just isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's just like the message behind that episode is important, but does it belong in Doctor Who? Debatable. So it was just like, no, this isn't for me. So I didn't watch it.
I think something like Rosa would have worked out better as a docudrama.
Exactly.
An actual docudrama that,
definitely.
actually has a message, and, it would have, I don't know, it would have been hard hitting as well. You know what I mean? But does it really need to be in a family show? I mean, people can shoot me down for thinking it, but I think entertainment should come first before the message. And I think messages were coming before the entertainment.
They were. And people will say, oh, well, it's the perfect show to have that sort of thing in because it educates kids. It's like, yeah, but there are other shows.
You can have it you can have it like one episode in a season, not a whole season's worth.
Yeah, exactly. And it just kept going on and on. So I stepped off at that point. I was just like, this isn't for me. I'm not going to keep watching something that's just going to piss me off, blah, blah, blah. And then they did the announcement for season 12, series 12, and it was like, oh, the Cybermen are coming back. And obviously, Jack, especially my thoughts on the way they've treated the Cybermen in the new series was just like, oh, fucking hell. But okay, at least it's the Cybermen and not some tooth monster shit. We'll see. Okay, all right, I'll see where this is going against my better judgment. I thought, all right, maybe it'd be a slight improvement. Maybe they've listened to people and gone, right, actually, we do need some classic villains to make it feel like Doctor Who. So, but then the rumors came out about what was to come, and then it was just like, it was almost like I kind of have to see how this plays out, just out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
And everything came true, and it was just like, once again, the Cybermen were a bit part in their own story. The Master, Sacha Dhawan, I thought was actually pretty good for the most part. He did a good job. He's been really good with fans. He's not got political. He's just gone, I'm privileged to be in this show. And that's what you want. You want that from your lead actor. You want that from the Doctor. And funny enough, Jodie Whittaker has made no comment about being privileged to be in Doctor Who. It's more about, well, the old series was all about the white male gaze and as a feminist and all this shit. It's like, no, keep that shit out of it and just be grateful for being Doctor Who. But, the Master was more appreciative of being Doctor Who than Doctor Who.
Shows the class of the man. I think Sacha Dhawan's a great actor, and I was
brilliant.
I just thought I was a bit saddened that he's appeared in that era, this era of Doctor Who. I think if he turned up a year earlier,
well, imagine him against
Capaldi.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I really liked Michelle Gomez, but for me, she never really felt like the Master. She felt more like the Rani, and I felt
I would have said that she would have actually been perfect for the Rani, but
especially when you get to like Death in Heaven, and I don't like that episode, but the sort of stuff that the Master was doing with experimenting with the dead and all that kind of stuff was more aligned with something the Rani would do. Yeah. So that would have been great, but anyway. But Michelle Gomez was fine. But yeah, having Sacha Dhawan against him, or even against Matt Smith.
And then you get this whole sort of like, the timeless child being the Doctor, and you sit there and go, well, that's just destroyed the mystery. It's not Doctor Who anymore, it's the timeless child.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Timeless Child.
They might as well just rename the show.
Who at any point in the last 57 years of Doctor Who has never been in peril, ever, at any point.
No. There's no stakes. Any regeneration
information that's like she's from another dimension and has unlimited regenerations. That makes them immortal. She's now a god. She's not an ordinary.
Not only that,
Time Lord. They're extraordinary to us, but ordinary to Time Lord. You know, she's a very ordinary Time Lord. But
and
now
let's not forget that the Time Lord Society was now born out of child mutilation experiments by this random person who thought, I want the secret of regeneration, so I'm going to murder these children in order to get it. When you think of that, it's like, what the actual fuck? It's like, what is going on with this fucking thing?
The thing that kind of upsets me about it, when you boil it down, it's like the Doctor was special because the Doctor is just a Time Lord who ran away from Gallifrey and then just started being the Doctor. They just started doing good things because that's what they thought they should do. Yeah. Now it's
they chose.
Now the Doctor is special because they're an absolute godlike figure, and it's like, well, no, you can make jokes about it because it's kind of like before it's like running around time and space, just turning up randomly, helping people. It's kind of like over the course of like however long the Doctor's lived for. 2,000 years, allegedly, at the time of Peter Capaldi taken out.
200,000 years.
5,000 years. The time's immaterial now.
Yeah. So a few people have said this as well. Like they could have salvaged it a little bit if it turned out that the Master was the timeless child, because then you could understand why the Master is as fucked up as he is, because he was experimented on as a child. And that's the sort of thing that made him go.
It makes his character a tragic one.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why he hates the Doctor, because the Doctor.
Which they kind of hinted at that. They kind of hinted at that when they put the drums in his head, as well.
Well, yeah.
You know, at the end of time, you know, he was mad because the Time Lords made him that way.
Yeah,
I was kind of always a bit annoyed about that.
I didn't like that at all, to be honest.
There's no point. Okay, Paws of Axos. Here we go back. At no point does the Master actually seem insane.
No.
At that point, he's fully in control of his faculty. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, it's like when you watch these back now, after that, I said when I did the End of Time thing in the worst list, it was just like, so now you have to take into consideration when you watch Delgado and Ainley and Beavers that his motivations were drums in his fucking head. But when you look at it on its own, it's like, but he doesn't, like you said, Harry, he doesn't seem batshit insane like they're making him to be now, like kind of like the Joker in a weird kind of way.
Every portrayal has been wrong. Even Anthony Ainley's not that fucking mental.
No, he's over.
You know what I mean? He's actually smart. I mean, he's got crazy ideas, but he's not.
He's not like no, it's the certified, you know, the kind of like schizophrenic, kind of psychotic kind of that character. He's just evil, wants to take over the universe. I mean,
okay, there's a good couple of choice episodes of the Master. I mean, I'm barring Survival, because Survival is obviously at his most desperate, and he's also being affected by the planet.
Yeah.
But before that, he's in Mark of the Rani.
Yeah.
And he's not insane in Mark of the Rani.
No.
You know what I mean? At no point does he seem like he's insane.
He's sort of
unless you have this idea that, you can't have evil ideas and not be insane. But I'm like, no, there's plenty of not insane people who have evil thoughts. It's not.
Well, yeah. There's just like
evil is not the.
It's not the byproduct of insanity.
Exactly.
No, it's
there's plenty of evil bastards in this world.
Yeah, a lot of them running countries. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like they got to get there somehow.
Demonetized, boom. Blocked on YouTube.
Before even being monetized. Yeah.
Fuck you, YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
I was never going to like it. At season 11, it was an uphill struggle. I mean, I think I even said it to you guys at the time. It was always going to be an uphill struggle to get me on board with this.
Yeah.
But that's because I was kind of like, I've got these ideas, and I'm like, okay, if some of these ideas come out, then hopefully they might be all right. And none of them came out. And then we got the episodes. We got the first episode where we got Toothy Tim Shaw. He starts off really cool. He looks like an evil predator.
Well, he's Predator.
Sort of looks like Predator, and he's really brutal. And I'm like, oh, well, this is interesting. And then it all goes downhill. Takes the fucking mask off.
Yeah,
she opens her mouth. So Tim Shaw is new villain. Cool, well done, Chibs. You created one new villain.
Well, that's
episode 2. What happened in episode 2, season 11?
Oh, it was the period rags of doom, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So they go to the thing and they have the race, and it has all the. This shows you how bad a season is. When my highlight is is when the guy who's in the tent starts the race, and he goes, and he lets the 2 people disappear, and then leaves the Doctor and his companions behind at the end of the episode. It's the evil bastard who runs the race.
Well, that's because Art Malik is a good actor.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, no, bloop, and they disappear. And literally, the cheer reaction was.
It's like you get someone of the caliber of him.
That's the best reaction I had for the entirety of season 11. So that goes to show this how much I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we got episode 3. I think is a great piece of television in the wrong show.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Because at the end of the day, you sit there and go, who's actually the main bad guy? It's fucking Bradley Walsh. He's the one who has to ask her to stand up. He's the one who causes it in the end. Dun, dun, dun. It's Demons of the Punjab?
Arachnids in the UK.
Oh! Basically, the Green Death done badly.
Yeah. Green Death and Planet.
Do you know what? Watch Green Death and beat for beat. I mean, okay, Green Death sadly is 6 parts. What happens in those fucking episodes is exactly what happens in Arachnids in the UK. Other than it not being giant spiders, it's giant fucking green bottles.
Green maggots, yeah.
And it's an oil company trying to dump waste into it's an evil corporation dumping waste into a mine in Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, that's in Sheffield. It might as well have been.
Well, it was filmed in
it was filmed in Wales.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's the same fucking story, but done badly.
Yeah.
I'd still prefer to sit through 6 episodes as a Green Death than a 45 minutes of Arachnids in the UK.
Well, it's got the Doctor in it for a start, which helps.
And then is it Demons of the Punjab? Or is it Kablam?
Kablam.
Okay, Kablam, the one episode that I kind of wasn't annoyed about.
I might watch it out of morbid curiosity, because that's the one episode that everyone says
robots, and
it's more like Doctor Who than any of the episodes.
Yeah, to be fair, it's the closest you're going to get. It's the closest you're going to get, and it's not even that.
It's not good.
Brilliant. The thing is that they make out that it's Amazon evil corporation that actually turns out the evil corporation isn't an evil corporation.
No.
It's the white man who's working for the corporation.
With exploding.
Wow, hang on a minute. In a season that's sort of full of messages, I was totally expecting it to be like Amazon's evil, and they're like, Amazon's not it. Hang on a minute. All the things that you're fucking touting in this season as messages, this is one I definitely don't fucking agree with. And then it's Demons of the Punjab.
I think so. Or the one with the Pating in it. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, there's the Pating and then the Demons of the Punjab.
Yeah.
Because I watched the Pating. Fucking ridiculous episode.
What with the pregnant man?
Oh, the pregnant man bit doesn't make it. Doesn't. Okay, cool. It's a race that has men that have the babies. All right, cool.
We've seen that with twins. No, Junior. That's it.
Junior. But the Pating as an alien, it's like it's overpowered. It's another Axos. It's another fucking Sutek. It's unkillable. It'll eat anything. It'll do anything. And you sit there and go, Well, hang on a minute. That's not an idea for a villain. Like, you can't.
I never thought I'd hear the Pating and Sutek in the same sentence.
Oh man, watch the episode because you haven't seen it. So you suddenly realise how dangerous this little thing is, and everyone's like, "Oh, but the joke is, it's a cute little thing about this high." And then we get another docudrama about the partition of India.
Yeah.
Which again, if it was a documentary program, would have been a really interesting documentary program. Not necessarily a Doctor Who episode. Let alone in the same season that we have Rosa. You know, I mean, this is my issue. It's like you can have one story in there, but having two, it's like
it's overkill, man.
You're packing it full of message, and there is no. I want to get away. This is my main gripe with all of New Doctor Who. Is it they don't go into space enough.
No,
they don't go to alien planets.
Still,
I mean, it's like.
I
get so annoyed that I sit there and go, why are they back on Earth again? Why can't we not be on fucking...
Because according to Chris Chibnall, Doctor Who should reflect the world we live in.
No, it shouldn't. It should be a fantasy. We should be taking any... The TARDIS can go anywhere in any time. For a plot device, how can you run out of ideas? I've run out of ideas for a Christmas special. How? Like, you can do anything. You can revisit anything. What's fucking wrong with you?
Because Chris Chibnall is creatively inept.
Right.
So, again, there's no real villains in the Demons of the Punjab apart from aliens that mourn people's deaths.
Brilliant.
Great. And then it's the final episode.
No, you're forgetting it. You're forgetting the one about the frog. It takes you away.
Oh, the Slayer fan who can't look after his child.
That's what. Oh, it's not that's what really. Oh, I didn't watch it, but I was looking back at pictures and clips on it, and it was just like, oh yeah. So the single white dad with his daughter and the Slayer
look after his daughter.
It's like, oh, and the frog is the universe apparently.
Of course it is.
She likes Slayer.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So that episode really is not for me.
That frog is awful as well. It's like the worst animatronic frog I've ever seen.
They couldn't even get Kermit to make a guest appearance. It wasn't even that good.
How saved it? Imagine if that was fucking Kermit the puppet sitting there. It's like fucking.
Yeah, that would have totally made an awful episode. Just that little less awful, but still awful.
Yeah. I like your universe.
Are you going to help your people?
That would have been amazing.
Doctor Who.
Adam Driver. I'm Kylo Ben.
And then we have the Battle of Unpronounced.
Sorry, Adam Driver just reminds me of Kermit the Frog sometimes when he talks. Shoot me.
Let the past die.
Let the past die.
Past die. We have to do a Star Wars.
I can't do my mother. I'm going to kill the Knights of Ren. And then you get the final episode, which is completely pointless. Has a little throwback to the fact that they got shrunken planets, like the pirate planet. Very, very loose reference there.
Oh yeah, but I mean, come on. What?
And again, aliens that can control way too much. Again, overly powered alien beings.
Overkill.
So they either went one way or the other. It was either they were all everything was conceptually contrived.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like, oh, for God's sake, I want an actual evil character. I want someone who's evil.
Yeah. Let's not forget the Witchfinders. James I, he was evil apparently, but then he wasn't.
My Nubian prince. Again, I forgot about the mud monsters in that episode. That whole fucking dread. Again, another dreadful episode. I don't like any of these. All these episodes. I mean, they're not even mediocre. I mean, maybe Kablam Man, the Kablam Man. No, it's not even Kablam. It's not even mediocre at best.
No, I wouldn't even. It wouldn't. No, I'd watch like fucking Fear Her over any of these stories. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, because David Tennant.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and at least at the end of that episode, he fucking runs the torch to the 2012 Olympics.
Well, it's the fact it's like they're all talking
Amazing.
about top 10 worst, and it's the fact that actually it does actually make me laugh right at the beginning where he lands the TARDIS the wrong way around in between the two crates, and he's like, oh, and then he lands it right way around again. He's like, it's like, yeah, even that's more entertaining than the entirety of Chibnall's run.
What is with this in every episode? That. And it's the exaggerated fucking arm wobbliness.
Dude, it's swish and flip. Okay? Swish and flip. That's what
unfortunately, it has been a magic wand for quite some time, but the fact that they just really emphasised it with
how much it is a magic wand.
Yeah.
That it might as well be, it is a sonic dildo.
Sonic dildo. Yeah, that's it.
That's the other one. See how the design of the sonic screwdriver was like, it just looks like a shiny dildo.
Well, it's the new logo itself, the fucking Abomination Doctor Who logo with the fucking.
Do you know what? That fucking logo pisses me off. Every time I get a new Blu-ray release of classic Doctor Who, and it's like,
yeah,
so obnoxious.
I think someone, I can't remember. I think it might have been. It was either Gary from Nerdaholics or someone like that. Actually said like he's making his own covers, so he doesn't have to fucking have that on the front of every Blu-ray now. It's just like, I want some of that shit. Wherever you got it from, Gary, give us some of that. I'll happily pay money for that.
And then we get to series 12, and I'm like, double down and throw more villains in because we made a mistake.
So let's bring back the classic villains known as the Jadoon, who aren't classic or villains really.
Yeah, classic policemen. And we're going to have a dustbin Dalek. Hey, this one is going to be made out of dustbin.
Faucet Dalek.
And we're going to use the entire episode to make a big joke about UNIT, about Brexit. It's going to be so funny.
The next special is going to be called Revolution of the Daleks, because, yeah, that's not an original
title. We had Resolution of the Daleks, haven't we?
Yeah, we had Resolution, and now the next special, because at the end of the fucking timeless abomination, it led into she got captured by the Jadoon in a prison, and then it says next time it will return with Revolution of the Daleks. It's like, so they've had Evolution of the Daleks and Resolution. So now he thought, we'll just call it Revolution, which means the Dalek. Apparently, it's going to be. And Harry, this is going to upset you because you know how long we've been talking about how we've wanted a, Imperial versus Renegade story, the new series. Apparently, this is going to be it. Revolution.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it, so it don't make a difference.
No. So it's like...
Because this is the thing. The Doctor died fighting the Cybermen.
Yeah.
At the end of Series 10.
That's why it's R.I.P. Doctor Who.
He died.
63
from
20.
now on, anytime I do a watch through of Doctor Who, I'm going to get to that episode. I'm going to, he sees him fall back and he's done the big speech. And
the original
Sim's done that whole, see this face? This face didn't listen to a word you just said. And the Master kills himself and the Doctor dies, saving the day. And I'd rather remember him like that.
Yeah.
Frankly.
That's when the Doctor died.
Absolutely useless.
The Doctor. It's a bit French, that, isn't it? Kisses. Even though, it's my fam, but when Graham talks to me about, needing help, it'd be really awkward.
Thank you for reminding me of that. This is the one thing that really fucks me off. And anyone who decides to defend this is an idiot. Is an absolute idiot. Because, quite frankly, you get to that point and it's like, someone, I've seen other comments online. It was like, do you not remember in...
this is socially awkward.
You know about Pyramids of Mars? Tom Baker does show his social awkwardness by not really showing much sympathy from Lawrence Scarman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't care who Lawrence Garman is. He's not his companion. He's just someone who just happens to be there, and he's having to deal with this ridiculous situation, which is going to blow up bad, and he's got to deal with it.
It's the end of the universe if he doesn't.
He gets tetchy. He gets like that when those situations are like that.
Yeah.
But you get your companion that you actually care about. So here you go. We'll take two situations. We'll get this situation over here with Jodie Whittaker. And she goes, oh, no, well, I should have thought of something. I'm going to walk away and I'll come back to you later. And you go, that's not the doctor. No, sorry, it isn't. Because let's rewind back to Tomb of the Cybermen when Victoria turns around and goes, it will always be painful. Like, every time I think of my father, I think of the Daleks killing him.
Yeah. And
the doctor turns around and says, your memory of your father will always be a painful one.
Yeah.
Jean was like, she turns around and goes, but how do you feel about it? Like, you're so old. How do you remember your family members? And he's like, old? Oh, well, I mean, they lay dormant in my mind. And when I want to think of them, they come before my eyes, and the rest of the time, and it'll be the same for you. And it's these words of comfort that he has for his companion.
Yeah.
The companion should be someone that he holds, or she holds, in a slightly higher regard than the rest of everyone else, because they've decided to travel with him. So to have it fast forwarded, someone who's supposed to be older and wiser by now,
exactly.
When he was only 500 years old, he was able to impart a reasonable amount of fucking comfort and sympathy to his companion. I don't even know. This is the difference: is that Tomb of the Cybermen is like Victoria's second story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's raw. It's just happened. So he's finding the capacity, even only after a short period of time, to be able to comfort his companion. Whereas she's been there for an entire season and a half. And she can't think of the fucking words.
No.
But it represents all those socially awkward people out there. Hang on a minute.
No,
The Doctor's not supposed to represent everybody in the fucking world. The Doctor's the Doctor. Like, there are certain things the Doctor does. And comforting companions is easily something that he can do. She can. It doesn't matter. It is he, because he died. Very frustrating. You sit there and you go, I'm trying to see.
With the context
trying to see the character I've always loved and known all this time, and I just can't see it in her. It's just badly written, so badly acted.
In there at all.
Like I said, I take my hat off. I'm just, anyone who likes it, fair play. I'm glad you can be so easily amused. Wow.
or know as little about the character of the Doctor as you clearly do by accepting that as the Doctor. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, but it represents me. Me, the person. I can't speep to people.
I don't watch telly I don't want to be represented by when I watch telly.
I'm not a 1,500-year-old fucking Time Lord.
Exactly. It's like,
at no point am I ever going to reach that age.
No. It's like, comic book movies. It's like, I know I'm not as powerful as these characters. I don't want to be represented. I want to be entertained, and I want to see how they save the day. I don't care. That's the thing. I've watched these.
That's the thing. We were
reminded of myself.
This entertainment. That's the key. It hasn't been any entertainment. It's why it's so depressing.
It is.
Such a Doctor Who fan like I am. It's so depressing. I never thought I'd say it, and I never thought I'd be that Doctor Who fan. I always said this to you when we were working, and we used Richard. And he goes, I never watched it after Tom Baker. I stopped watching Doctor Who. And I'm like, how can you stop watching How did you stop watching Doctor Who, man? Like, you watched all
great
of
episodes in like the later seasons and stuff, but then
here I am, fucking, I'm that guy. I'm like, I've reached my stepping off point. I've gone like, you've always had the opinion that you could take Doctor Who anywhere. And sadly, we're being proved that you can't take Doctor Who anywhere. And there are no limits. Well, yeah, there are limits that it will go to.
Yeah, good writing.
It's going to die off. because the ratings have gone off a cliff anyway, and they're just going to go even further off a fucking cliff. So it's just flogging a dead horse now at this point. No matter how many people say, "Oh, well, the ratings are still quite good," no, they're not. No, the whole of last season was pretty much, most of it was the worst ratings it had ever gotten. But then they turn around and go, "Oh, well, ratings don't matter," even though these same people were saying
the ratings
the first season was better.
The very first episode. Oh look, 10 million people tuned in the first episode.
Oh, more people watched it than Capaldi era.
What I loved about that is the drop off after the first 3 episodes. So I go, wow, a lot of basically you wanted casual fans to tune in, and they didn't stay tuned in.
No.
No.
More
It's
people.
your hardcore fans that are going to stay tuned in.
More people watched Country File than they did Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sort of says it all.
I mean, it's such a dire situation. How did we go from the 50th anniversary in 5 short years to season 12? Or series 12.
Chris Chibnall. That's why.
You know what I mean?
The
mind boggles. I remember being I was in such a good mood for Doctor Who on the 50th anniversary. I thought, you know what, we finally got a really good episode, a really good multi-Doctor story, and here we are. We're going from strength to strength. We're going to get Peter Capaldi to replace R. That's an amazing. That's a fantastic choice.
And he's a true Doctor Who. Since he loves Doctor Who as well, which helps. Do you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of his stories were bad, but that wasn't his fault.
And to be honest, it's one of those ones. I know a lot of people level a lot of criticism at Moffat for how piss poor season 10 was, and season 9. Although I think season 9 is all right. Not bad, but season 10, I agree. But I also have a sneaking suspicion, and I've always said it at the time, is that we all know that Moffat is a capable writer. He isn't a crap writer.
No.
You have to look at Sherlock. Simple, hands down. Like, some of the early Sherlock, I'm not saying some of the later Sherlock was that great.
You could put that down to
his first 2-3 seasons of Sherlock are absolutely amazing. And there's some wicked storytelling, and and it just shows you how good he is as a writer.
I think there were times where he dropped the ball. But then
he dropped the ball, and I think because there were a lot of decisions that were not in his hands. I genuinely think that things like Bill Potts was a higher up BBC decision.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't even seem like a Moffat creation. You know what I mean? As you bear that in mind with his previous stuff that he's done, she doesn't bear any relevance.
Well, and you go from Amy to Clara to Bill.
It's awful. She's just badly written.
Yeah.
But then again, I think it was a bad concept that was forced upon the show. That makes sense.
It was the sign of things to come. And I think
exactly, because it was almost like, I think the BBC had this idea of what they wanted it to be, and hell or high water, it doesn't matter who was.
Well, it comes down to the diversity and inclusion strategy that they put in, and it was sort of filtering in around about series 9, and it went full steam ahead in series 10, and then fucking went into the stratosphere with Chibnall and Whittaker, and I think that's just the way it's going to be now until clearer heads prevail. I can't see that happening unless
until they have no ratings whatsoever.
That's it, yeah.
On that note,
because I can't see how is it selling abroad.
It isn't.
It's not. It isn't.
Simple as. I mean, my point was,
no one watches in America.
I was like, as soon as she turned around and said, I'm going to keep my northern accent, I went, you ain't going to sell that in America. Simple as.
I mean, Christopher Eccleston got away with it because it wasn't quite as thick.
He's got a very soft northern accent, and you can actually understand. He's very articulate.
Yeah, exactly.
Where Jodie doesn't articulate.
No. And it's just like, oh, I'm just.
Hang on a minute, you're the main character and you're supposed to be spouting all this science stuff, and no one can understand what the fuck you're saying?
Yeah. And you're not even articulating.
I mean, okay, maybe other Northerners Cool, I take that.
Yeah.
I take that. And to be fair, I say as most English people, yeah, we do understand what she's saying. But the Americans, they can't even understand what we say.
No. They had a hard time with Capaldi. Yeah, and his Scottish accent.
His Scottish accent, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry, Jack, I was interrupting whilst you were trying to say something for a while.
I've got the missus, so I will have to say goodbye to you guys. If you want to keep going.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheerio.
As usual, Jack.
I'll see you all next time, and when we do whichever one you tell me.
Oh yeah, so what are we doing next? Should I put it to a poll, or are we just going to do Terror of the Autons?
I don't have Terror of the Autons, and I don't think it's quite easy to hand. I don't think it's hard.
Oh,
Okay. I'll do. What Doctor then? Should we go back to Tom Baker, or maybe do a Patrick Troughton one? Or...
Well, we've gone backwards. I was thinking, should we go forwards?
Okay.
And watch a crap Peter Davison episode.
Oh, Warriors of the Deep.
I got it on DVD. That's why I'm only suggesting it. You don't have to watch Warriors of the Deep. Don't want to. It's terrible.
Well, no, we've done sort of 2 amazing stories and 1 pretty good story. So I suppose the natural progression would be a crap story. So yeah, why not?
I mean, to be honest, with Colin Baker, pick, really.
Yeah. Apart from Terror of the Vervoids, it's all a bit.
Yeah. Revelation of the Daleks.
Yeah.
I like Revelation. It's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, cool. Right, well, I'll see you guys next time. If I don't see you before.
Jack. Bye,
Jack. Jack signing off.
Nerdaholics. Woo.
Woo.